All right. Hi, everybody. I had to take a little break. Sorry. So this is continuation of a personal healing process 2. So let's continue. So when you go through this healing process and you are activated within your whole body intelligence, let me give you an example. We all know that our mental body and our mental capacity is at 3%. Okay? When we heal, fully heal, our intelligence is going to be at 100%. So just imagine that. How it may look like, let me tell you, because your whole body intelligence is powered by the spirit, and you will use your mind, and the rest of 97% of that intelligence will come from your intuition, your senses, and everything else. Let me give you an example, okay? What is the difference being a human being that is operating from a mental level, from an astral programmed reality? Let me give you an example. Okay, a human and a dog would walk by on the street, a piece of shit. What will human do? The human being that is mental, they are the way we are right now, the way most of the collectives are right now. What we'll do, we'll look at it. At first, we will have to figure out if it's a piece of shit or maybe it's candy. Maybe it's chocolate candy. We'll look at it, what can we say? Oh, well, maybe it's, because it's a big piece of shit, the dog's probably big. That's about it. The dog will sniff that piece of shit. How much information will the dog have from that? I've read somewhere that the dog can even tell, they'll tell if it's a male, female, they'll know if the dog that shit there has any health issues. I mean, they can sniff so much more than a human being can. This is the whole body intelligence that I'm talking about. When we really take this path of personal healing and connecting to our spirit that is of this planet, to that spirit that is powering the process of that baby in the womb that gives the life, when we connect to that, we are at 100%. So I know this was a hard process for me, and I'm still going through it. And I only went through a little bit of it. And that little bit of it is so worth it. So worth it. Because imagine that the astral levels, the astral manipulations, that sometimes present their shit as candy to us, can they really then lie to us? Can they manipulate us if we're at the 100%? Like, can you really point to that piece of shit on the side of the road and tell the dog that it's a piece of candy? No. It will sniff it. It will know it. So will we. If we heal, we will sniff the astral manipulations really fast. And this is the thing that is a lot of the astral beings, well, let's say the astrally controlled people on the planet are sort of, a little taken off by some of the earthlings. They don't know how to read us. They don't know how to overcome us. They try to argue with us mentally, and they're having a hard time because we'll just start laughing at them because they're operating with 3% capacity, and they're trying to tell us that their shit is a candy and we should eat it. There's so much, because the matrix is so desperate right now, and all those astral slaves, and I mean all the spiritual teachers that talk to you about ascension, about portals, and about a golden age, and about positive timeline, all of that is astral shit. It's a matrix reality that they're trying to sell you. They're trying to sell you a piece of shit like it's a piece of chocolate. So, and a lot of these people, and going through a lot of upgrades in their program, because we Earthlings create a lot of problems for them. And with the Earth timeline, and that information is being out there, that there is Earth timeline, and it's not positive matrix timeline that you're propagating. So what did they do? There's a lot of it, and I did a video about that specific manipulation that was happening on Alfred Weber's show. But there's other people. They'll talk about the positive matrix timeline like it will be so close to the description of the Earth timeline. There's going to be a few twists here and there. And that's how they try to twist things and manipulate things. So I will tell you guys to watch out for that, because they'll talk about organic timeline. They'll say organic timeline. Or they will say, they'll talk all about Earth and all of that stuff. But let me give you one sort of thing you can look for. If those people are pretending to talk about sort of Earth timeline, and they do not tell you the difference between the matrix positive timeline and the Earth timeline, they're manipulating you, because they're presenting the matrix positive timeline to you, and they're they're betting on the fact that you will eat that shit like it's candy. If they put enough nice words to it, if they include Earth in it, or if they say word organic, or if they are trying to manipulate you into accepting and activating a matrix positive timeline. And if you don't know how that works, go back to my video about matrix mechanic, and that will explain to you where that and why this positive timeline that is being propagated so much in alternative media right now, why it is the same shit, because it will show you the mechanics of the matrix and how the positive timeline is part of it. And so you can go back to that, and in there's also a lot of that, how the math is all related to it, how the secret geometry is related to it, plays a role, and especially the Merkaba field. The Merkaba field is the matrix prison. If there is any teachings out there right now, 99.99% of teachings out there that are floating openly in alternative media are astral harvesting programs, positive and negative. There's a lot of positive ones that are floating out there. Anything that has to do with the pineal will keep your soul in the pineal, and it will not integrate your soul into your spirit, and will use your spirit as the feeding tube to astral levels. That's harvesting agenda. So any pineal activations or any pineal kind of shit that they do, meditations and all of that stuff, all of it is a harvesting, okay? Harvesting your spirit energy, feeding the astral levels. The other ones are, using all the nice words like organic words and, organic timeline. Yeah, still matrix timeline. If they don't explain to you the difference between Earth timeline and a positive timeline, they're trying to manipulate you. Okay? So, but if you do the healing, the personal healing, you'll sniff that out. You'll sniff that out right away, and you're just gonna just kind of watch them do their thing, and you might have a few laughs about it, and I do, and then move on. But it's not as funny with these people as it is sad, because these people that propagate this matrix, out there, and they're using all these words, and they're getting updated. Their programs are getting updated. And there's this one, a very popular lady that, and she posted on her YouTube, I mean on her Facebook, you know, how she's going through so much energetic crap right now. And then on the end of it, she said, but I know it's, you know, it's going to birth something really good. Um, yeah, astral beings are updating your program, lady. And they don't give a shit that it's tearing your energetics apart, because it's rape. You know, it's an energetic rape when they have to update your program like that. So they will update you, and you know, in something new, a new program actually that will be born out of that. And for those people that work for that agenda, for the matrix positive time loop, um, whatever you want to call it, it is matrix because it's connected to the numbers, and it's connected to cyclical time. And no matter how much you want to snake your way out of it, you're working for the matrix, you're working for the astral timelines, and you're working for astral beings, and you're a slave, and you're being used and abused. And it is very sad. Um, I don't feel sorry for you, but it is very sad for your spirit, because your spirit is squished and it's used and abused. It's just being used as a battery for astral agenda. And so they're using you. And when you get that new update, new program, and then you gotta go and, you know, and you gotta spread it around. What they're using you is you sort of like that shepherd dog that you gotta, you know, go out there then and tell all the sheep to, you know, take their spirit energy and project it towards astral. And there's so many different faces to the astral timelines. There's so many different faces. But you are that dog that, you know, hurts the sheep. And then if you cannot perform, you will be thrown out like a piece of garbage. You may think right now that you are very special to those beings, and you may think that you are caring very much for humanity and trying to activate a positive timeline for humanity, but you are sheepdog and you are being used and abused. And when you cannot perform, you'll be a piece of trash to those beings. And this is why I feel sad for these people, because they serve astral levels time life after time life, and they are used and abused and energetically raped, and a lot of time physically too. But I mean, it's just sad, but this is what they do, and the programs are going to be, you know, sort of, and for you, when you do this physical, when you do this personal healing process, when you do that, the earthling process of reconnecting back with the planet and being fully on, active and operating from within your spirit or your whole body intelligence, you know, this is what you take, that little battery, you know, out of that astral machine. And because astral levels are so starved for that spirit energy, because remember, they can't tap into planetary spirit, only can do it through the people. They're very starved for that energy. So you think that if you do it, just one person, if you do this and you take that battery out of the astral machine, that they won't notice. They notice, and they'll go after you. This is, you know, you'll start having people acting really weird. Really weird, and there's gonna be a lot of shit that's just gonna sort of start floating around you, especially in your emotional body. So through your emotional body. So be ready for that. But you know what? It's all worth it. So anyway, um, why they're starved of the earth energy? Because they can't get it, and they can't get it because, as I showed you before, they can't get that energy because they can't harvest the planet anymore. So this is where the CERN plays the role, is in what they're trying to do right now. Okay, so remember this little thing here, that 23.4 degree that misalign the grids and stargates. So when you, let me just maybe give a short explanation. So when Earth tilted herself, because for them to keep us in cyclical time and go from one end to another, let me show you. Like, okay, here's a here's a time floating in space. Okay, so what they created is cyclical time. Atlantis to 2012, 2017. I made it circular like that. And this is your portal where it connects, and then it just pulls you into another cycle, into another cycle, into another cycle. Okay, so this is what they do physically on the planet. When this point of ascension or new age comes in, when the two portals sort of come together, two holes in time, and then you get pulled into another cycle, and then the cycle goes positive and negative, positive and negative. So this next one that they've been trying to activate so badly would be the positive, actually, cycle, which is extreme positive, but it's still matrix. It's still same shit. It's still all together, because positive and negative is the same energy, has same source. But anyway, so the physically what would happen is the pole would shift, flip, because that's how you actually keep the planet in the matrix system. This is how the mechanics of it. But because of this tilt, the physical level tilt, but the astral level stayed in the same place. Let me show you something. Okay, let's say this is a physical. Let's say it's a stargate. Okay, this is a physical level, and this is astral level. What we had it connected like that, and then our reality was one reality. Anything from physical, and we could be, some people say, multidimensional, because all the 12 levels, 7 main level and 5 other levels of astral reality, was all connected like that. And they would do the flip of time, and then so. But now, to do because they have the technology to do this flip, they do it through the sun and electromagnetic field. There's a technology. It's not from this world. It's also because it works with the Atlantean crystals. Those crystals are was brought here from a different planet, and they've been installed in the crust underneath the portals in stargates, and they're also part of that technology of the matrix. So that's why you see a lot of, you hear in spiritual communities, they talk about the crystalline grid. That's the crystalline grid. It's specifically, it's a technology for the matrix. It's a matrix, sort of the prison matrix technology. So that's why it was propagated very much about those crystals, and those are very interesting crystals. And actually what's happening in Ukraine has a little bit to do with those crystalline grids and stuff like that, and crystals that they use. But anyway, that's another talk. So what happened is, what Earth did is, when she did it, the tilt, the last time they did the flip, what Earth did is took the physical level of, so let's say it's Stargate, and it tilted 23.4 degree. Astral levels stayed in the same place. So what happened? It disconnected the stargates. So it closed them. Okay? So this is what created the planetary quarantine. There's another quarantine that's on the other side of the astral levels. That's 3% organic frequency that runs the band of organic frequency that holds the astral levels in place. But this is what it did. Okay? So now, for them to flip, to do the pole shift, because it requires to keep the matrix timeline. Okay, it's another cycle, a positive cycle or matrix timeline that they needed to flip into. It has to, you know, it has to be all the way to the physical level, and it has to flip the physical level, and that technology comes from Astral. So what happened? Disconnected. That's why they can't make a pole shift. Okay, this is why there's no shift. Okay, so how the CERN plays in it. So see, this would be like this black dotted, and would be how the grids and stargates would be on the planet. This would be astral, and then planetary would be the gray ones. So they're all on the angle. So what CERN is trying to do is create a on the physical level of the planet, create a technology that will give them the artificial physical grid lines, and they do need those crystals for it. Okay? To do that. On the planet, that would, you know, the planet actually physical level is like this on the angle. So what they're trying to do is create the artificial ones that will connect to the astral. Okay? So this is what they're trying to create, is artificial grid lines. Artificial, you can call it pyramid system, because pyramid system, the old pyramid system, was used to harvest planetary organic energy. And so this, what is CERN trying to do is create this artificial grid. They also have tried, and they probably still trying, to actually move the crust of the planet back 23.4 degrees back, so the actual so then that would be realigning the actual physical grids. So they're trying to do that, and they're also creating artificial grids. This is why, this is when, you know, when they wanted to do that, but around 2010 they sort of given up on that, because before 2010, and it was all about the grid work, energetic grid work, and Cavazos was talking about the ascension would be the crust movement. That was an attempt to do this, to bring the planetary grids back into alignment with astral grids at the 0 degree, and then they would do a pole shift, and which would you know, kind of push us into another time cycle. So this is what they're trying to do. This is CERN is trying to activate a positive timeline. So all those in alternative media that all pro positive timeline, you're working with CERN. Congratulations. You didn't know that, did you? But you're working with CERN. The shift, you know, the key words to look for to find out who's working with CERN, who's working for the matrix, is the shift, positive timeline, portal openings, ascension, of course. All of that is a working CERN agenda. So you know, I know that there's people that propagate that. They are going to be offended by that, because they do not see the connection, because they've been fooled. by the astral beings and their mental programs. They've been fooled to think that they have nothing to do with it, but they're actually all working together. All of that is working together, because no matter what happens, positive or negative wins, it doesn't matter anymore, because if this matrix timeline is not going to get activated, the seven heaven and the seven hell, all of them will be space dusted. The moon's going to be gone, because the moon is just big ship. It's a ship. It's a container for souls, and it's a container for all the astral beings that sort of, it's an operation station for a collective mental body of this planet, which is astral levels. So it's a pineal gland on a planetary level. So there you have it. But so that's for that. So you understand what CERN is doing. And I just read an article that said that they've made a little experiment, and it showed them, and it created a rainbow universe. What rainbow universe is astral levels. Okay, and this is, I know this is black and white, but you'll know that red, orange, yellow, and so on. This is rainbow. Astral levels is rainbow. Rainbow universe is astral levels. Just so you know. So this is what they're trying to create. They actually admitted that they would love to create that, meaning that artificial grid that they will create, connect, and then we can see into astral levels and will all be connected. The other reason for that is they won't realign that is because there's some astral beings that are really, really interested in coming in here on the physical level. They haven't been able to come in here. They just, through people and through only certain windows of time when they can come in, and it has to be, through a black and white magic and all of that stuff. So, it's a lot of hoops that they have to jump through to come in here into a physical level. But if they create that artificial grid, then they can come in anytime. That's on CERN. I don't know if I want to, there is other things. There's other new sort of astral programs that are recently came up, and they're definitely astral manipulation. Has to do with the moon, and when there is more information on that, me and Gauze, I am and Gauze working on that right now. We will get that information out. It has a lot to do with the moon and the attempt on astral levels. This is just another sort of attempt. But once we put all that sort of together into more of a presentable way, we will find a way to share that with you guys. As for now, I guess I will keep on with this personal healing and sort of give an update also on how the matrix at the moment, because it's changing day to day. There's just so much attempts at fixing that matrix system that's coming from everywhere, and especially in alternative media right now. It seems like the alternative media has become the source for astral beings to sort of to keep you distracted from doing the personal healing and keep sort of revamping the old belief systems and being very sort of forceful on humanity, like the flat earth thing. It's a astral program. It's a belief system that's there is a much deeper manipulation to it, but at this point it is used to sort of distract and keep people in that state of being, so the souls don't heal. So and keeping you in that mental loop. So you keep doing the mental research, and so because when you're doing the mental research, you're not present in the now, and you're not doing the personal healing. So but that might be another video that I will have to do, because just the little things, and a few things that I point out, they're just tiny small pieces. There's a much deeper manipulation. There's a much deeper distraction going on with that flat earth thing. It is a lot deeper. It is a very actually sad situation, but some people are falling for it, and I hope they will wake up from it soon, because that keeps you away from planet, and that's the goal right now. Because the goal right now, whatever astral beings do, what they try to achieve is to stop Earth's timeline and activate the positive timeline matrix loop cycle. This is what's coming at you. So from every direction, it is to discourage you from Earth's timeline. So for those of you guys, and I know that most of you that will hear this will be my dear fellow Earthlings, I want to say to you thank you for being as strong as you have been in seeing the manipulations for what they are, for dealing with your own mental programs, with your own fears, with your own emotional issues, being true to yourself, being real, being raw, because that's the only way we can heal, is we gotta be fully 100% honest with ourselves first. And the earth is supporting you. I am supporting you within my spirit as much as I can. So until next time, thank you so much for listening. I love you all.